Hello guys, back with another story. Stick around to the end. And if you like the content, please do hit that subscribe button. It actually helps more than you think. She texted, "I'm staying with my mom and I'm keeping the car I deserve." I replied, "Drive safe." Then I called our insurance agent, removed her from my policy and canceled the car's coverage, which was in my name. She was frantically calling after being pulled over for driving uninsured and facing a license suspension. I'm 32, sitting in a house that has become eerily quiet over the last few hours. My wife of 4 years, Sarah, 30, just left. This wasn't a calm, mutual decision. It was the explosive conclusion to a week of simmering tension. And the final shot was fired via a text message that perfectly sums up the woman I now realize I married. But to understand why I did what I did, you need to understand the betrayal that came before the text. 2 weeks ago, I was reviewing our finances, getting ready to make an extra payment on our mortgage. We have a joint savings account where we've been diligently putting away money for a down payment on a bigger house. Or so I thought. When I logged in, I saw a $5,000 transfer from our savings to a personal account I didn't recognize. This was a huge withdrawal, one we had not discussed. After a bit of digging, I discovered the account belonged to Sarah's younger sister, Jenna. Jenna has a history of financial irresponsibility, credit card debt, failed online businesses, always a new drama requiring a cash infusion. We had both agreed years ago that while we love her, we would no longer fund her poor decisions. Clearly, Sarah had decided to overrule that agreement unilaterally. I waited until she got home and calmly asked her about it. The defensiveness was instantaneous. "It's my sister Alex. Her car broke down and she needed it for work. Family helps family." I reminded her that it was our joint savings, our future home fund, and that we had an agreement. Her response cut me deep. "It's just money. You're always so obsessed with money. My sister was in trouble and I helped her. That's what a good person does." She showed no remorse. In her eyes, my concern for our shared financial future was a moral failing. The argument escalated, and for the last week we've been living like two hostile strangers under the same roof. This afternoon I came home from work to find the closet half empty and a note on the counter that just said, "I need some space." An hour later my phone buzzed with a text message. It was from Sarah. It read, "I'm staying with my mom for a while and I'm keeping the Lexus. I think I deserve at least that much." The Lexus. It's a beautiful SUV that she loves to drive. Here's the critical detail. I bought that car 2 years before Sarah and I were even married. The title is and has always been solely in my name. The car loan, which I paid off last year, was entirely in my name. The insurance policy is mine. She is just listed as a named driver on my policy. Legally, it is 100% my property. Her text, coming right after she secretly gave away thousands of our dollars, was the ultimate act of entitlement. She betrayed our trust and her immediate response was to claim possession of my property as compensation. The audacity was stunning. After everything she felt, she deserved it. My thumbs hovered over the screen. I wanted to rage, to list all her faults, to tell her exactly what I thought of her, but I didn't. A cold or strategic thought cut through the anger. I simply typed back 2 words, "Drive safe." She didn't reply. She probably thought I was being weak or sarcastic. It was neither. It was a warning. As soon as I sent the text, I picked up the phone and called my insurance agent. I explained that my wife and I had separated, that she had taken a vehicle titled to me and that she would be the sole operator of it for the foreseeable future. I then instructed the agent to do 2 things immediately. Remove Sarah as a listed driver from my policy, and more importantly, to cancel the comprehensive and collision coverage on that specific Lexus. Effective immediately. The agent put me on a brief hold and then confirmed. The policy on the Lexus was now void. It was an uninsured vehicle. I felt a grim sense of finality. Sarah, in her arrogance, believes she is one. She has her freedom, her mother's support, and the car she deserves. But every mile she drives is now a gamble. It is no longer a question of if she will face the consequences, but when. It has been 4 days since Sarah left. The silence in the house has been a strange mix of peaceful and tense. I've spent the time getting my head straight and consulting with a divorce attorney. The only communication I received was from Sarah's mother, who called to tell me what a cruel and unfeeling person I was for getting upset about the money and driving Sarah away. I calmly explained that Sarah had taken $5,000 from our house fund and then stolen my car. She didn't like that description and hung up on me. The one I was waiting for happened this afternoon. I was at the gym when my phone, which was on silent, started lighting up like a Christmas tree. 4 missed calls from Sarah. Then a text. Call me now. Then a frantic voicemail popped up. I saved it immediately. Her voice was panicked, almost shrieking. Alex, you have to call me back right now. I got pulled over for speeding and the officer is saying the car has no insurance. He said it's a huge fine and they're going to tow the car. Alex, he's talking about suspending my license. What did you do? You have to call the insurance company and tell them it was a mistake. Call me. I took a deep breath, let the workout adrenaline settle, and called her back. She picked up on the first ring. What did you do, Alex? She yelled. The police officer is telling me I'm driving an uninsured vehicle. I kept my voice completely neutral. It's not a mistake, Sarah. The car is uninsured because I canceled the policy on it 4 days ago. There was a stunned silence on the other end of the line. You what? Why on earth would you do that? You can't do that. I can and I did, I stated calmly. You sent me a text message explicitly stating that you were keeping my car. The moment you did that, you took sole possession of it. I am not legally or financially responsible for a vehicle that is not in my care. You as the driver are responsible for ensuring the vehicle you are operating is insured. You were driving illegally and you got caught. But it's our car. We're married, she pleaded, her voice cracking. No, Sarah. It's my car. The title is in my name. And you were the one who left our marriage to go live with your mom. You can't declare your independence while still depending on my legal and financial protection. It doesn't work that way. You wanted the car you deserved. Well, now you have all the responsibilities that come with it. I could hear the police officer talking to her in the background. She started crying. They're towing it, Alex. They're really towing it. What am I supposed to do? You have to fix this. There is nothing for me to fix, I said, the finality of it hanging in the air. The car is your problem. The towing fees are your problem. The fines and the license suspension are your problem. You wanted the car, you got it. I ended the call. As I walked out of the gym, I realized I didn't feel angry anymore. I just felt free. Update 2. It has been 2 weeks since Sarah's frantic call from the side of the road. The fallout has been exactly as significant as I predicted. First, the car. It was impounded. For her to get it back, she had to pay the towing fee, the original ticket for speeding, and the massive fine for driving without insurance. On top of that, she had to pay the daily storage fees from the impound lot. I heard through the grapevine that the total came to nearly $2,000, which her parents had to lend her. And the worst part for her? She received an official notice from the DMV informing her that her driver's license would be suspended for a minimum of 90 days. My lawyer, who I have now officially retained, was very pleased with my quick thinking. He confirmed that if she had gotten into an accident while driving my uninsured car, I could have been exposed to a world of financial and legal liability. Canceling the policy was the single smartest move I could have made to protect myself. We have started drafting the divorce papers. Predictably, the smear campaign has begun. Her sister Jenna, the original source of all this, has been posting vague but pointed messages on social media about men who try to control you by taking away your freedom, and how her sister is a victim of financial abuse. A few of Sarah's friends reached out and I just sent them a screenshot of her text message. I'm keeping the car I deserve. That usually ended the conversation. The best part came last week. As the legal owner of the vehicle, the impound lot sent me a final notice regarding the vehicle. I went down to the lot, paid the remaining administrative fees, and took possession of my car. It felt good to have it back. I immediately drove it to a CarMax dealership. I didn't want it anymore. It was tainted by the drama. I sold it to them on the spot and walked away with a check. I put that money right back into my savings account, replacing a good portion of what Sarah had taken. Sarah found out about the sale from her mother, who I assumed drove by my house and saw the car was gone. My phone rang and it was Sarah, absolutely furious. You sold my car. She screamed. No, Sarah, I corrected her, my voice calm. I retrieved my car from the impound lot where it was sitting because of your illegal actions. Then I sold my car. It was never yours. That's not fair. I paid for it to get out of the lot. Consider it rent for using my property without permission for the last few weeks, I replied. And speaking of money, my lawyer will be in touch. He's already drafting the divorce petition. He noted that the $5,000 you took from savings will be listed as a dissipation of marital assets. You'll have to account for it in the settlement. Goodbye, Sarah. I hung up before she could respond and blocked her number for good. Final update: it has been 6 months and I am officially a single man. The divorce was finalized last month and the dust has completely settled. The process was less painful than I expected, mostly because Sarah's actions gave her very little ground to stand on. As predicted, the $5,000 she gave her sister was counted against her in the division of our few shared assets. Her demands for spousal support were dismissed by the judge given the short duration of our marriage and the circumstances of her departure. She walked away with her personal belongings and not much else. Her life took a significant downturn. Her license was suspended for the full 3 months, making her dependent on her parents for everything. I heard she eventually found a job, but it was a step down from what she could have gotten otherwise, as she was limited to places accessible by public transit. When she finally got her license back, her insurance premiums were astronomical due to the driving uninsured violation on her record. Last I heard, she's driving a 15-year-old sedan her parents bought for her. The relationship with her sister is also reportedly strained. The $2,000 her parents lent her for the impound fees apparently came with a lot of strings and resentment, much of it directed at Jenna for causing the problem in the first place. As for me, life has been quiet, stable, and productive. I sold the house we shared and moved into a smaller, more manageable condo. My finances are secure and I am steadily rebuilding my savings. The sense of betrayal was deep, but her actions after she left, the entitlement, the lack of remorse, made it incredibly easy to move on. Her text message was a declaration of war and she thought her prize was a luxury SUV. She didn't understand that possession is not the same as ownership. My reply, "Drive safe," wasn't just a sarcastic remark, it was a literal statement of fact. To drive safely, you must be insured. She was too arrogant and too entitled to see the warning right in front of her. She faced the direct, unavoidable consequences of her own choices, and the legal system did all the work for me. That's the most satisfying outcome I could have asked for.